Executive order, President Trump will begin the process of creating what the White House is calling the Iron Dome for America, the name a nod to the Israeli missile defense system. The order directs implementation of a next-generation missile defense shield for the U.S. against ballistic, hypersonic, advanced cruise missiles, and other next-generation aerial attacks, according to a fact sheet obtained by ABC. There are a few details from the White House on how this would be developed and on what timeline, nor does the White House give an estimate on cost. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Trump has fired more than a dozen inspectors general from their posts. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes.
He fired a couple of IGs in his first term. That generated quite a bit of controversy, and so Congress did go ahead and impose new rules to basically beef up protections around these inspector generals. But President Trump just broke the rules. He did not provide Congress with 30 days notice. He was going to be firing these inspectors general, and he also didn't say why he was firing them.
Legal action against the Trump administration is anticipated. Identifying the pedestrian killed on I-43 early Sunday morning, 59-year-old Melinda Page was struck by a car on 43 northbound near Fond du Lac Avenue. Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office is still investigating that crash. A 29-year-old is recovering at the hospital after a shooting on Milwaukee's north side. It happened around 11:30 a.m. today near Darien and Green Tree. The suspect was arguing with the victim when the suspect fired shots into the victim's car. Police are still searching for the shooter. A cold front over the greater Los Angeles area, bringing periods of rain to an area still dealing with wildfires. For one Wisconsin native now living in California, the rain is a blessing and a potential curse.
Pacific Palisades resident Caitlin Morale's home is still standing, but the threat of damage from a mudslide is increasing.
We have a lot of vegetation that is gone, and we're built into a hill, so there's obviously concern among our neighbors in the areas about what kind of slides we'll potentially encounter.
Morale and her family have been displaced for 3 weeks and only recently were able to visit their home.
Driving down the Pacific Coast Highway, it's nothing I could have been prepared for. It looked like traveling into a dystopian war zone.
Greg Natzik, WTMJ News.
Morale is uncertain if her family will ever be able to move back in. One of the largest events in Wisconsin's history is only a few months away. The NFL Draft comes to Green Bay in April, and hotel bookings are already filling up. Senior Director of Communications at Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce, Ryan Amundson, tells WTMJ.
Hotel rooms, even here in Milwaukee, those prices are surging for that weekend. It's a big deal. They're expecting about 240,000 people up in the Green Bay area for this event. Obviously, they don't have the hotel capacity to accommodate all of those folks, so the entire state's going to be impacted.
Airbnb prices also surging for that weekend in Brown County, up 27% from September. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 6:03.
So how would I describe our people? I'd say the people we set out to hire have to be smart, hardworking, and honest. Honesty being paramount of the three. Because honesty breeds integrity. And when you have integrity, you won't let yourself do anything less than your best. And that's who we're looking for. Character counts here, and integrity matters. And that's why it's easy for us to offer the industry's best lifetime workmanship warranty with every roof we sell. A rock-solid warranty like ours guarantees our reputation and assures your satisfaction. At Semper Fi, we do the right thing. We seize the moral high ground, and we hold it. And when you do that, you end up having a business that's going to last for generations. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi. Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. But it's simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After a really simple sleep study at home, in my own bed, they determined the root cause of my problem had to do with my sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. I didn't even know I had a breathing triangle, so I went to see Advent. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, and my wife and I are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. too. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Super Bowl 59 will feature the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs are looking for a third consecutive Super Bowl win. That game will be played February 9th in New Orleans. The Bucs tour of the Western Conference continues tonight in Utah against the Jazz. Doc Rivers' Bucs are 25-18 on the season.
We're 2-8, and we're losing anywhere, But I really do think in this stretch, overall, we've played really good on the road.
Meanwhile, the Jazz have just 10 wins. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 7:30 here on WTMJ. Taking a look at the roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Looking mostly clear on the roads this evening. No major incidents and not seeing any rush hour delays lingering. Time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies and windy, a chance for light snow showers, a low of 25. Tuesday, partly cloudy, still windy and mild, a high of 42. On Wednesday, mostly cloudy and breezy, a slight chance for snow showers, a high of 35. Thursday, mostly cloudy and a chance for mild with a chance for mix later in the day, a high of 36. On Friday, cloudy with rain and wintry mix possible, a high of 37. Right now in Madison, it's 36 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 33. In Waukesha, it's 36. And in Milwaukee, it's 39 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 6:07.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. A deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Maxx.
Hello there. How you doing? I am happy to be back in the seat today. We have an hour and a half together before Milwaukee Bucks coverage, and boy, oh boy, are we going to have some fun. This is an episode for movie fans, museum fans, and music fans because we are rolling out the red carpet in the WTMJ studio here at 3rd Street Market Hall tonight for the new Milwaukee Film Executive Director. You're going to meet Susan Santha Kearns, Ph.D., who starts her leadership of Milwaukee Film next week. We're going to visit with a local film expert and author, David Fantle, who will give us a preview of the kinds of historical Hollywood stories that he knows and that he will be sharing at an upcoming Lunch and Learn event at 3 Pillars. And also, from the Wisconsin Museum of Quilts and Fiber Arts, Executive Director Melissa Rahlstad. She's going to share what you can experience there during museum days for just $5. Museum Days is good. It's going all the way through Sunday, so you'll get some details on that. And music fans, you can win free concert tickets to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett. Every night on What's on Tap this week, tonight through Thursday, you can win tickets to rock out August 31st at American Family Insurance Amphitheater. Plus, the song you need to hear tonight is Billy Idol, a classic rock tune there. So stay with me till 7:30. That's when our Milwaukee Bucks coverage will begin. But as you can hear, we have so much fun to look forward to. And I want to remind you that you can be part of the show anytime. Citing Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line is open, 855-616-1620. That's 855-616-1620. If you have a comment, a question, a reaction for me or for one of our guests, you are welcome to join in. And also, another reminder that you could be the first to see the brand new Wisconsin-made movie called The Omro Heist. And it's tonight and tomorrow. If you hustle, you can still get there tonight for the 6:30 screening at the Avalon Atmospheric Theater in Bayview and also at the Rosebud Cinema Draft House in Wauwatosa. 6:30 screening tonight and tomorrow, and then next week on Monday and Tuesday. I'm telling you, you talk about an indie film and you think, okay, it's going to be kind of gritty and amateurish. This is a really fun action movie. Here's just a little bit of what the trailer is like for this thriller, The Omro Heist.
Banks are the new evil in our world today. They hold the whip over every man. But not today.
you later on. Where you came from, you understand me?
I got this.
It is action-packed, and it is in Omro, the small town of less than 4,000 people that is near Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And how did this all get started? Well, because a man named Ken Bressers, who's a former pharmacist but always an actor, he lives in Omro, and he was inspired by the city. His connections throughout the years have led him to a writer and an actor and an Irishman named Simon Phillips. And Simon Phillips is the guy who plays the blackmailing bank robber in the Omro heist. And Ken really was the catalyst for the film and adamant to film entirely in Omro. And Anthony Crivello, the Tony Award winner from Milwaukee, Marquette alumnus, portrayed McGuire, the one-man show on stage, at least twice here in Milwaukee. Well, Anthony Crivello is here, and I chatted with him, and he explained that his longtime friend Ken Bressers' commitment to making the Omro heist in Wisconsin in this part of our chat.
With Ken being in Omro, he had all of these resources. He was friends with the police chief. He was friends with the fire chief. He knew the people who owned the diner down the block. And so what he did was he bought this bank. And because it had vaults and because it had a whole setup in a basement, and he contacted Simon and he said, I have all these resources in Omro, and could you write with these locations that I could access, the bait and tackle shop, I said the diner and all these other things, and, you know, private home and whatever, and the streets, and could you create a film? And Simon said, yeah, sure.
And it's a heck of a film. It's action-packed. Thumbs up. I give it. It's not gory. It's definitely suspenseful. And again, that was the voice of Anthony Crivello. He plays the sheriff in town. And so obviously his role is very important in the Omro heist story. But the characters are relatable and not caricatures, and it really is made with a real love for Omro. So support local artists and filmmakers, and you can go see the Omro heist tonight and tomorrow and next Monday and Tuesday at 6:30 at the Avalon Atmospheric Theater in Bayview and the Rosebud Cinema Draft House in Tosa. From a modern film in Omro, Wisconsin, to the golden years of retro Hollywood, my next guest is full of stories of the glamorous years of movie making and is preparing for a fun event next week. Get ready to meet author and Hollywood historian David Fantle next on What's on Tap.
Football is like rock and roll. It's just, and basketball is like jazz. You know, you're kind of.
Brent sends it left of the lane to Portis. Lillard sends it to the corner.
It's in the pocket. It's like
driving inside, hands it to Jackson. Catch and shoot three. Torian Prince rips the cords.
The Bucks head out to Utah to take on the Jazz. Our Bucks radio game day coverage starts tonight at 7:30. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why, through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now, the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
This message is sponsored by WisCaregiver.com. People across Wisconsin are enjoying the rewards, stability, and flexibility of a career in healthcare. Why not you? WisCaregiver.com gets you started. Choose between 2 great options. Become a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. Training is free, plus earn a $500 bonus. It's easy to start your new career. Learn more at WisCaregiver.com.
Hey, business owners, are you looking to sell your business? I'm sure you have plenty of questions. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me for our latest Annex Wealth Management webinar. I'll be joined by Brandon Lehman and Brian Lamborn from Annex Wealth Management as we answer your questions. Who should you consult? And of course, when is the best time for you to sell your business? Sign up for this free webinar on Wednesday, January 29th. Text WEB to 855-616-1620 to sign up for the free webinar. Only here on WTMJ.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx on WTMJ.
Hooray for Hollywood.
setting the tone for this next conversation about retro Hollywood. And you're always welcome to be part of the conversation on What's on Tap. The Sighting Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. And you can also text the word WATCH, WATCH. Text WATCH to 855-616-1620. And you can see all of my smiling and smart guests in the studio tonight at WTMJ. And I'm excited always to learn more. Like, you can be really knowledgeable about one of your favorite subjects, but you can always learn more. And there's a fun event next Monday called Lunch and Learn, Hollywood Stars and Stories. Astaire, Kelly, Sinatra, Garland, and more. And it is next Monday, 11:30 to 1:30 at Three Pillars, Village on the Square Community Room in Dousman. You're welcome to go and learn from my in-studio guest right now, David Fantle. David, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Sandy.
David, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Sandy.
And David, your area of expertise is Hollywood's golden age, and you'll be telling stories that you've researched and discovered at this special event at Three Pillars. And what has your journey been to become a writer on this subject?
If you can believe it's been a 50-year journey. So I grew up in St. Paul. When I saw the film That's Entertainment in 1974, I was hooked on classic films. It was a compilation of all the great MGM musicals. I was 15 years old, so you know how old I am now, 50 years later. But anyways, a friend of mine in middle school in St. Paul had the same experience. He saw the film, and we became hooked on these classics. And this was the mid-1970s, so this was before Turner Classics, before DVD, before everything. And we had this preposterous idea right after we graduated high school that so many of these golden age stars were in their golden years, but they were still very much with us, that we thought, let's do a snail mail writing campaign to Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly. Lo and behold, in late spring of 1978, just before we graduated high school, we got green-lit letters to meet the screen legends Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly. We were 18 years old. We hopped on a plane.
I would too. That's incredible.
Right. We had these amazing visits with Fred Astaire, the legendary dancers, and Gene Kelly. We had a snapshot taken with Fred Astaire. It was like our Willy Wonka golden ticket, because Astaire and Kelly were so revered that these stars, these golden age stars, said, hey, if Astaire and Kelly will see these young punks from Minnesota, we will too. We went to the University of Minnesota. We did up to over 200 interviews.
Oh,
we
my
did
God.
trips to Los Angeles.
But first, tell
ahead.
me, I was like, I want to know, but I am starstruck because Singing in the Rain is one of my all-time favorite movies.
For
So
sure.
that's Gene Kelly there at his finest. And I've always preferred Gene Kelly over I started to say Frank Sinatra, over Fred Astaire, because Fred was very willowy and ballroom, and I love the preciseness. I grew up as a dancer, so I love the preciseness of Fred Astaire's movements. But man, Gene Kelly always just had that kind of swagger and playfulness.
And he also came
and perfectionist.
A generation after. So his films are in Technicolor, most of them, not so is Fred Astaire, some of Astaire's, but there's more of a contemporary feel to Gene's work than Fred's, and I think that's probably what you see as well.
But they were both experimental. They were both pushing, innovators.
You know, the two greatest male dancers in the history of motion pictures. I don't think there's much debate.
It's sort of funny. It's sort of like Beatles and Stones. You know, can you be a Fred and a
and
a
I
Gene
hate
guy?
I hate wading into the social media world of who do you like better. You know, they were very different. Astaire was 13 years older. They were very good friends. They really only did one number together during their prime. It was in a film called Ziegfeld Follies. But, you know, they couldn't have been nicer. And in fact, in the case of Gene Kelly, we saw him at his home on Rodeo Drive in 78. We saw him twice at his home, 2 visits with him.
I mean, that's, David, to be invited. I thought this was going to be even more formal, because now if you were able to get in touch with one of your favorite stars, I feel like it would be you're going to meet on the Hollywood lot. It'd be a very supervised visit instead of Gene Kelly inviting you and your friend to his own home.
Yeah, we had about 15 years till he passed away of Christmas cards every year from them. George Burns, we had multiple visits with the comedian Bob Hope interviews.
My gosh.
They're all in our 2018 book. There it is, Hollywood Heyday, 75 candid interviews with Golden Age legends. And it, from Mickey Rooney to Debbie Reynolds to Charlton Heston to Gregory Peck, I mean, on and on. I give at Three Pillars on Monday, I give sort of a flavor, a little taste of some of the celebrities and really the backstory of how did these two teenagers from St. Paul, Minnesota actually pull this thing off. And as you alluded to, you could never go and see the Brad Pitts and, the A-listers today like we were able to do because it was a different time. And to do this via snail mail and to actually get letters and responses from them is just, people today just go, that's amazing. It just cannot be done anymore.
I feel like some of the snail mail aspect, though, is because that golden age of Hollywood and before that is because of the magazines and the fan mail aspect of that. So they took fan mail very seriously then, and from the Elvis to the Beatles and following all the way through.
They were also schooled in the studio system.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're in the studio system, you realize it wasn't just making movies. It was how you dealt with the media. It was how you did publicity. You look at today, a celebrity will go on a couple talk shows for the weekend to get a big opening weekend, but that's about it.
Right.
These guys all knew the art of publicity, and they were very fan-friendly. And, we benefited greatly from that. And, thank heavens that we just had the damn luck, tenacity, whatever it was, to do what we did.
You have memories to last a lifetime, and I'm thrilled that you became an author and wrote down these stories and anecdotes that you got directly. Because I was saying, you've researched these stories. Like, you researched them by interviewing the people themselves. And you'll be sharing these stories Monday afternoon at a Lunch and Learn. Hollywood Stars and Stories, Astaire, Kelly, Sinatra, Garland, and more on Monday, 11:30 to 1:30 at Three Pillars Village on the Square in Dousman. If you go to threepillars.org, you can get the info. More questions for you. David Fantle stays with us here in the studio on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
The Upswing is your place for commerce and community.
So President Trump has indicated that he's going to pursue aggressive tariff policies.
Hosted by Jeff Sherman.
How are many of the Wisconsin businesses preparing for potential tariff increases?
So really getting out there, doing your research, having a lot of options and plans to sort of diversify your supply chains. That's really the best thing you can do.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Hey, Sandy Maxx, WTMJ here to tell you about incredible career opportunities with my friends at Three Pillars Senior Living Communities in Dousman. Three Pillars is rated as the top senior living community in Wisconsin, and it's a certified great place to work. They're hiring LPNs and RNs with some starting at $41 per hour, and you can get more based on shifts. The best part, you will be making a difference in the lives of others every day at Three Pillars. Go to threepillars.org and click on the Careers tab to learn more.
Oh, boy, it's getting so expensive to dine out, but not at the Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Mind Chef is family-owned, understands inflation hurts. Every Monday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza absolutely free. Any size, any quantity. You buy one, get one free. Buy two, get two free. Buy 10 pizzas, get 10 free pizzas. Business owners, managers, bring in pizza for your hardworking employees and your key clients. They're going to love it because it's delicious pizza and your second pizza's free, saving your company a ton of money. Bring your family in today for free pizza. Your kids will love that world-class game room. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and near EAA in Oshkosh, just off the interstate. Lots of seating, lots of close parking. No need to cook. Don't think about cleaning today. Mondays can be tough enough. Buy one pizza, get one free at the Mine Shaft. Plenty to take home for tomorrow. Desserts, and I love their desserts, are also buy one, get one free. Just walk in today for your free Monday pizza. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx.
Hollywood history being preserved by one of our local authors and an adjunct professor at Marquette University. David Fantle is my guest as he is getting warmed up for Monday's Lunch and Learn at Three Pillars in Dousman. And I love that you are sharing this knowledge with all ages. There's an appetite to learn, whether it's something that of your memories or there's something like, wait a minute, a classic film.
Right. And in Marquette, they have a film minor. And I think it's important for communications people to be aware of not just pop culture of 2 weeks ago or a year ago, but pop culture of 50 or 75 years ago. Why was Charlie Chaplin important, 100 years ago? Why is Kelly and Astaire? When I mention to students, Judy Garland, if I say Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, there's a connection. You talk about Jimmy Stewart and say It's a Wonderful Life. That's where they connect. But I mean, I've had a class of 50 students at a time, and I will mention Bob Hope or John Wayne, and I'll get 50 blank stares. They won't have heard of them. And I will say that, it's a little bit of a leap of faith with some of the black and white films because young people today, it's a different generation. And when I went to college, a film like Casablanca was 40 years old. Now it's almost 90 years old.
Yeah.
So it's a long time ago. But I do have students that come up to me and they get hooked on these. They compare notes with their grandparents or their parents after seeing some of the films that I screen in class.
That's a great point because I tend to think and say often here on What's on Tap, art brings people together. It creates connection and it creates conversation sometimes about difficult subjects or just a simple conversation of, that was so cool. Did you see him or her do that? Whether it's a dance move by Gene Kelly or a great song on film by Frank Sinatra or just really witnessing one of those classic films in its entirety.
Definitely. And, I try to tell the students, too, for example, preview on my Wednesday film class this week, I'm going to focus on director Frank Capra. And the film I'm going to be showing is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. And I sort of joke, maybe dad jokes to them, but I talk about this is a film about greed and corruption in the U.S. Senate. And guess what? This was 1939. So, hey, some things maybe never change, but I want them to know that you're not alone today in being concerned about things that are happening because we've had ups and downs throughout our history. And I think films like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington still resonates today with the young people.
These universal themes, and how often have we said, and it always sounds kind of harsh, but like if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. You don't have to learn from history just in a book. You can learn from history of how people behave or how people have reacted and how you can avoid making somebody angry or resolve conflicts if you approach things in a different way. And even if it is watching Jimmy Stewart in a film, there are things you can learn.
And, when we got hooked with That's Entertainment, the compilation of all those MGM musicals, the slogan was, boy, do we need it now. And that was 1974. Watergate. We were just getting out of the Vietnam War. And what did those films do? They were just escapism. They said, I think they narrated, Frank Sinatra said, boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy sings a song and gets girl. That's pretty much the plot, right, of a lot of those old musicals. But it was just, that's what films were intended to do, to put you escapism for a couple hours in the dark and to sort of forget your troubles, whether it was the Great Depression, World War II, or any stressful situations that we might be having today.
And it's interesting that escapism can be very simple, like Frank Sinatra described, because escapism, I feel like, has really evolved into the superhero films and to a lot of special effects. And not that there's anything wrong with that. That's just how the art form has evolved. But you can still go back to these classic Hollywood films and watch Turner Classic Movies and get engrossed in a more straightforward, simpler style of storytelling.
Well, and you look at a film like Wizard of Oz, and, some of the effects might look a bit cheesy today, but there was no computers. The twister, everything was just generated by extremely talented artists, back in 1939. And so it is different. And the young people, they love the Marvel comics and those super action and the CGI and all the computer stuff. But that's, how it is today. And as I teach and try to bridge that, I have to be empathetic and understanding that this is a different generation.
But you're helping preserve that and educate.
I hope so.
Truly, as a Marquette professor and also as an author. David Fantle, he will be hosting a Lunch and Learn at Three Pillars in Dousman on Monday from 11:30 to 1:30. Lunch is included. Yum.
Yeah.
threepillars.org and to find out about Monday's Lunch and Learn. David, thank you so much for visiting. I look forward to having you back again soon so we can delve deeper into maybe one or two of your favorite films.
Love to do a sequel, Sandy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And stay with us. You will be the first to meet the new executive director of Milwaukee Film. But first, we go to the WTMJ Breaking News Center with Jessica Gatso.
Thanks, Sandy. Identifying the victims of deadly shootings in Milwaukee over the weekend, 33-year-old Jerez Reed was shot near 49th Street and Mill Road Friday night. He later died at the hospital. 64-year-old Revel McKnight was shot inside a vehicle near 89th and Mill Road early Sunday. He died at the scene. An armed man on the loose after threatening a Target employee. Oconomowoc police are searching for 26-year-old Keon Hawthorne. He's accused of threatening a fellow employee at the Target distribution center on Valley Road early Sunday morning. Hawthorne pointed a gun at the other employee before fleeing. No one was injured and no shots were fired. Microsoft making more moves in southeastern Wisconsin. The company just acquired 240 acres in Kenosha for a data center. The land is northwest of I-94 and Highway 142. The city of Kenosha voted unanimously in December to rezone the property. Microsoft's investment in Kenosha is in addition to the $3 billion data center project already underway in Mount Pleasant. Taking a look at the roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Pretty clear on the roads this evening. No major incidents and no delays. Time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies and windy, a chance for light snow showers, a low of 25. Tuesday, partly cloudy, windy, and mild, a high of 42. Wednesday, mostly cloudy and breezy, a slight chance for snow showers, a high of 35. Thursday, mostly cloudy and mild with a chance for mix late, a high of 36. Friday, cloudy with rain mix possible, a high of 37. Right now in Madison, it's 35 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 34. In Waukesha, it's 37. And in Milwaukee, it's 38 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 6:32.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Elizabeth and John bought their starter home 8 years ago, BC, as in before children. Now, with 2 elementary school-age kids, they wanted to make a move to the suburbs for a bigger home with more yard. But they didn't know if or how they could buy their next home without selling their current one. Fortunately, a friend who was a multi-time AccuNet client connected them with us, and we soon determined they could, in fact, afford to buy without selling first, which was a big relief to them and their real estate agent. Armed with an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval, it still took several weeks to find the right home for the next chapter in their life. But I'm happy to report that Elizabeth, John, and their boys opened their presents on Christmas morning in their new home after closing just a few days before. Whether you're buying your first home or your next home, go with the pros who have all the tools and know-how to make your home buying experience as smooth and successful as humanly possible. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here, asking you to join me in October as my wife and I explore the magical kingdoms of Southeast Asia, from the villages of Vietnam and the temples of Cambodia to the friendly locals of Laos and the beachside resort in stunning, lively Thailand. I hope you'll join us for this unforgettable journey. Ancient and mysterious worlds of rural landscapes, bustling cities, and fascinating history in Vietnam. Explore the Chu Chi tunnels used by the Viet Cong. Experience a street food adventure through Hanoi and cherish the serenity of Hai Long Bay on a beautiful boat ride. Bangkok in Thailand, the beaches in Thailand, history, tradition, food. If you'd like more information on this great trip, send me an email. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. It's Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. I'm super jazzed about this trip. Send me an email. I send you the info. john.mercure, MERCURE, @WTMJ.com.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx is back on WTMJ.
Welcome back to What's on Tap, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world-class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. And you're always welcome to be part of the conversation on What's on Tap. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620 if you have thoughts, reactions, any questions for any of my guests, because I have a very special guest in the WTMJ studio now. After a nationwide search, Milwaukee Film has found their new executive director, and she is with me here on What's on Tap before she assumes her leadership role next week. Introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi, Sandy. I'm Susan Kearns, and Sandy's correct. I start next Monday at Milwaukee Film.
Wow. And I guess I can say, welcome back. What is your history with Milwaukee Film?
So I was the first executive director, or not executive director.
That's okay. You've imagined yourself in the role. Yeah, you're the first executive director for this year. There you go.
For this year, right. That's not even true. I was the first education director at Milwaukee Film. So my history with the organization actually goes way back. When I was a graduate student at UW Milwaukee, I started volunteering with the previous Milwaukee International Film Festival on screening committees and things like that. Immediately hooked, immediately in love with the festival. And so I've been in some capacity involved with Milwaukee Film literally since the get-go. I was lucky to work for them for a couple of years, really establish their education programs. That was almost not quite 15 years ago. And then I got this opportunity in Chicago at Columbia College Chicago, where I've been working as a professor since. But my film festival experience goes back farther than that as well. I got my undergrad at University of Texas in Austin and worked with South by Southwest when their film festival portion of their, massive festival event was just starting out.
So South by Southwest, which really was a film festival and has evolved now into this absolute cultural music and movies and tech.
Yeah, behemoth.
Yeah.
It started as a music festival. And so we used to get our little wristbands and just go from venue to venue and see all these great people. And then they added film and interactive, and now it's a juggernaut. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
So when you said before that you were working with Milwaukee International Film Festival, which I remember that too, but you just fell in love with it. What is it about a film festival that excites you?
Well, I think I'm a film kid, so I grew up in movie theaters, and just as long as I can remember, I have been going to the movies. But the film festival allows me to immerse myself in that world. You get to really exhaust yourself by seeing as many films in one day as you can, which, if you've never done it, is such an amazing experience. You think like, oh, I can't watch 4 films in a day. And then you do, and you're like, get me in there, coach. I got to do it again.
And you're talking to other people in the lobby about the reactions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Susan, you're talking to someone who relishes getting the program. And I go page by page by page. I circle titles that I'm even remotely interested in. Then I cross-reference my schedule and the grid in the back and see just how many I can try to hit with my schedule.
Yeah.
And just even the triangulation process is exciting for me.
Right. Yeah, because you kind of have to map it out. And I love having the opportunity to see directors there, meet directors, talk to some of the documentary subjects are there. They get to talk about, not just like what's happened after the film, but their experiences making the film. There's so much to it that I think contributes to my love of film, certainly, but also just like my engagement with humanity. I feel like I'm a better person every time on the other end of every film festival.
We're talking with Susan Kearns, the new executive director of Milwaukee Film. There is no doubt your excitement and passion for film festivals, but Milwaukee Film is more than that. So when we come back, we'll ask you more about what your specific plans are for this at least upcoming year and even long term with Milwaukee Film. Stay with us on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, It's your turn to grab hold of that energy where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
What we've found is that when you have workers who feel valued, you get better results. This is why good people and good culture should matter to anyone looking for an exterior remodeling company they can trust. It's going to be your experience and the end result that gives you peace of mind, because you'll know your work was done by people who care. We realized early on that if we were going to change the reputation of this industry for the better, that finding good workers that you could trust to do great work was going to be the key. We're attracting good people every day because we take care of our people. We want to make sure they feel important because they are. And we're going to make sure you feel important and valued too, with excellent customer service and high quality work. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices. Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips? But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to new, NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New year, new you, New Nordic.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
I'm Sandy Maxx, and joining me in the studio is the new executive director for Milwaukee Film, Susan Kearns. Susan, thank you so much for joining me, and congratulations on this impressive role.
Well, thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here.
And with your experience already working with Milwaukee Film as education director, but then now spending the past 15 years teaching at Columbia College in Chicago, I must think that you were teaching film.
Yes. Yep. Correct. So I've been teaching cinema studies and filmmaking. I'm also a filmmaker myself, so producing all kinds of things.
Do you have any films in process now?
Oh, I do. Yeah. I won't say too much about it, but a friend and I have been working on a feminist true crime documentary for several years called Uncoiled. So maybe I'll come back and talk to you about that at some point.
I would be very interested. But now, as the leader of a very beloved cultural organization in Milwaukee, Milwaukee Film, creeping up on 20 years as an organization, really making a mark in Milwaukee with now leasing the Oriental Theater and now also reopening the Downer Theater. Mm-hmm. What are some of your short-term plans for 2025? Because I know you start your job next week. I don't want to ask too big of grand plans. But, as you know, the Milwaukee Film Festival will be here in April. Yep. It's zooming along. So what are some of your main goals?
Yeah, I think my immediate goals are, obviously reconnecting with the community. But one of the things I really want to do is make sure that people understand how much great stuff Milwaukee Film is doing all the time. So we have The Brutalist right now on 70 millimeter. We are the only theater in Wisconsin who's showing that film on 70 millimeter, and that's special. And I want to make sure that people understand that. We have a screening of The Cameraman with live organ accompaniment. That's a Buster Keaton silent film coming up. The Black History Month programming is amazing. And just like all kinds of, like there's a 90s film called Dry Long So that is kind of an undiscovered gem. And so that's part of that program. I think people, everybody loves the Oriental Theater. Everybody has a soft spot for the Downer because it's the longest running theater in Milwaukee. But I think we sometimes take these spaces we just assume they're always going to be there. So I want to remind people that we're doing this amazing stuff. And so, encourage people like come back and come see movies and bring your family or take a chance on something you maybe haven't heard of. And really just, make sure that energy is there and ongoing for movie going in general.
Is attendance really a challenge?
It is and it isn't. It sort of depends on time of year. Like right now we've got all the Oscar films. And so a lot of people are like, I got to catch up, right? And so everybody's going to see those movies right now to make sure they're prepared for the event on, what is it, March 2nd, March 3rd, whenever the ceremony is. But it kind of ebbs and flows seasonally. That's nothing that's not typical of all movie theaters. But we need to make sure that we're offering all this great programming. We want to make sure that people are there for it.
And what are maybe one or two things that are challenges, but that you really want to tackle to make sure that Milwaukee film is sustainable?
Yeah, so obviously the economics of Milwaukee film are no secret from the past couple of years. So I am going to be working really, really hard to connect with, like different partners, different potentially corporate sponsorships, organizations, things like that. I want to make sure that there's a community investment in the Oriental Theater, in the Downer Theater, in what Milwaukee Film is doing. And I think that that's going to bring in people in different kinds of ways. We have the Let's Dig In series coming up, and there's going to be a farmer's market in the Oriental Theater. I love that.
Inside the Oriental Theater.
Inside the Oriental Theater. Yeah. So more of that kind of stuff. Like let's really dream about what we can do with these spaces to make them community spaces and really kind of eventize, the cinema going experience. I think there's just tons of possibility for that.
And the events portion of that does bring community together as well. And just like sitting in the dark theater and watching a film together.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
Creates that shared experience. Even if it's a silent experience together, it's still a shared experience.
Yeah. And I think that there's, I think people who got out of the habit of going to movie theaters during the pandemic, they come back and they're like, oh, right, I really like this. This feels really good to me. So I understand the allure of my couch, that is strong. But it is like reminding people who maybe haven't gotten back into the theaters yet post-pandemic that they actually love this and they do want to see things on the big screen and they want to, again, take a chance on a movie that is maybe outside of their sort of typical comfort zone and making friends. I mean, you mentioned that you're a member and that you have been.
Mm-hmm.
We have such a strong member community, and I see groups of people who used to be volunteers and now they're coming to member screenings together like they're, best friends from way back. It's such a great feeling.
These are your people.
Yeah.
I like it. Let's end on sort of a get to know you note. So as a filmmaker yourself, as obviously a film enthusiast,
yeah,
I'm pleased that you're embracing the Oscars and the Academy Awards, because sometimes Milwaukee films, some people have the perception like, oh, it's all indie.
Right.
And it's like, oh, no, all kinds of films appeal to all kinds of people. So your top 3 favorite films of the moment. I know it's tough to narrow down. I know, but maybe top 3 go-to movies for Susan Kearns.
Yeah. I will say my favorite movie to watch when I'm feeling down is 9 to 5. I love that movie so much.
There you go.
Yeah. And it just, Dolly Parton, what's not to love? But it just makes it's so funny and it's like so refreshing. And I love everything about it. So that's definitely a go-to for me.
Women working together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of what I've enjoyed recently of the Oscar films. I enjoyed The Substance.
Really?
It's maybe not like my favorite film of all time, but I was delighted to see that
I'm
nominated.
squeamish. There's no way I can watch it, right?
It's a splatter film. Yeah, there's
because I'm so curious because Demi Moore has been getting rave reviews and the messaging and the substance and all these themes, and I'm really curious, but I am so squeamish.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do it.
No, it's probably not your cup of tea.
Okay.
But I appreciate.
Thanks for the candor because it's like I might try out of morbid curiosity.
Right.
But I've heard people have walked out of the theater of The Substance because it's
I mean, it goes
what do they call
for
it? Body horror, a gross out kind of film?
Yeah, body horror, gross out. That's
we got
it.
9 to 5 in The Substance. Hit me up with one more of your favorite movies. Just like maybe a comfort film.
A comfort film? What else do I watch? I love musicals. So I will put on just about any musical and just sort of, relax into it. With the Liza doc, all I wanted to do was go home and watch Cabaret.
Oh,
I
yes.
was like, oh, Cabaret is so good. But really every Bob Fosse musical, I mean, they're gorgeous. They're incredible. And so I don't know that I should say Cabaret is a comfort film, but musicals, I think, are a comfort for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, singing along. Susan Kearns, congratulations on becoming the new executive director of Milwaukee Film. Break a leg on
you.
Monday, and we look forward to seeing you grow and establish Milwaukee Film, and as they continue to be a very important part of our cultural landscape here in Milwaukee and Wisconsin.
Right. Well, thank you so much for having me, Sandy. It's a pleasure.
I look forward to chatting with you again, and certainly seeing you at the Milwaukee Film Festival. And those dates?
April 24th through May 8th.
I've just thrown so much at you. Poor thing. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm not on the job yet. Let me get there.
That's why I wrote those dates down.
Very good. Susan Kearns, new executive director of Milwaukee Film. Congratulations, and we'll see you again.
Thanks.
And your chance to hear Billy Idol, the spiky-haired singer coming to Milwaukee this summer. He's going to snarl through the song you need to hear next on What's on Tap.
We've all heard of Larry Bird. Allow us to introduce Derry Bird.
It's A.J. Green slashing a three down from the right wing on the other end of the court. It's a 1-point game. Giannis back to A.J. A.J. going to try to answer. Off balance three, and he hits it. How did he hit that one? The Derry Bird going deep into his bag of tricks there.
We're the home of Derry Bird and the Bucks. WTMJ.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 844-763-2837. That's 844-763-2837. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Looking for the most popular answer? What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. Yay! It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx on WTMJ. And now, feast your ears. This is the song you need to hear.
Most blokes are going to be playing at 10. These go to 11.
August 31st. It's the Sunday night of Labor Day weekend, and I'll tell you where you want to be. Outside, rocking out. Billy Idol. It's a nice day to tour again. That is the day he will be performing at American Family Insurance Amphitheater. Joan Jett opening up that show. It's going to be a great night, and if you think that sounds like fun, well, turn up this song, but also stay with me because about 7:20 tonight, your chance to win free tickets to this Billy Idol show, August 31st at AmFam Amphitheater. Here's Billy Idol now, Rebel Yell. It's the song you need to hear on What's on Tap.
Last night a little dancer came dancing to my door. Last night a little angel came pumping on the floor. She said, come baby, got a license for love. And if it expires, pray help from above. Because in the midnight hour, she cried more, more, more. With a rebel yell, she cried more, more, more. Wow, in the midnight hour, more, more, more. With a rebel yell, more, 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 more. She don't like slavery, she won't sit and beg. But when tired and lonely, she's mean to beg. What set you free and brought you to me, babe? What set you free? I leave you here by me. Because in the midnight hour, she cried more, more, more. With a rebel yell, she cried more, more, more. Wow, in the midnight hour, babe, more, more, more. With a rebel yell, more, more, more. He lives in his own devil. He likes it to go from the 7-Eleven. Well, it's out all night to collect a fare. Just as long as don't mess up his fare.
As winter takes a deep freeze, it's not too late for you to get hot, hot, hot. Fox World Travel has your ticket to paradise with deals you won't find anywhere else. Save on last-minute all-inclusive vacations with Apple Vacations or get up to 67% off public cruise rates with Royal Caribbean and Celebrity Cruises. Is Europe on your mind? Ask about Fox Group Vacations. Book now and save only at Fox World Travel. Book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code RADIO.
I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. Should I delay my Social Security benefits or should I start taking them right away? The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Your decision can impact your income for the rest of your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we help you create a strategy to maximize your benefits so you can make the most of what you've earned. Social Security is just one stop on your retirement-ready roadmap. Take the first step today. Text SS to 414-897-9522 to claim your free retirement toolkit and get a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready. Don't leave money on the table. Text SS to 414-897-9522.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. The Bucks continue their West Coast trip with a Salt Lake assault against the Jazz.
Lots up top. Giannis slams it home. Oh, a rim-rocking alley-oop. Dame to Giannis, and the rim's going to feel that one tomorrow.
With coverage starting tonight at 7:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 7 o'clock, it's 37 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy and windy. A chance for light snow showers, a low of 25. Tuesday, partly cloudy, windy and mild, a high of 42. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Gatso. Former UW lacrosse chancellor Joe Gow is suing to get his teaching job back. Gow was removed as chancellor in December 2023 and fired from teaching staff last fall for appearing in pornographic videos with his wife. Milwaukee-based attorney Mark Leitner and the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression filed the federal lawsuit on Gow's behalf today, the first day of spring semester classes at UW lacrosse. They're arguing the First Amendment protects Dr. Gow's speech. The lawsuit asks the court to order the UW Board of Regents to reinstate Gow as a tenured professor and award an unspecified amount in damages. No one hurt after a trash fire in Sun Prairie. An ambulance driver noticed the clouds of smoke near Nelson and Bailey Roads just after 9 p.m. Friday. Medics circled back to the Prairie landfill to find the flames coming from the side of the hill. Firefighters estimate that about 3,000 square feet was on fire. It took over 3 hours and 16,000 gallons of water to extinguish the blaze. The cause of the fire is under investigation. All evacuees in the Palisades fire in Los Angeles can now go home, at least during daylight hours. ABC's Alex Stone.
Days after President Trump, in a visit to the fire zone, pressured L.A. Mayor Karen Bass to let everybody go home, the mayor announcing all evacuation orders are being lifted. But some areas will require a police escort, and residents can stay from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. because there's no electricity or lights in the area, and Mayor Bass is asking residents not to stay long.
Right now, especially if their place was destroyed, it's really toxic. It's dangerous for them to be there.
In the coming days, the EPA will begin removing hazardous materials. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
January is National Blood Donation Month, but according to the American Red Cross, hundreds of donation drives were canceled this month due to extreme weather events. Dr. Arun Shet at the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute tells WTMJ the blood supply affects a wide range of conditions.
Cancer, pregnancy and childbirth, a car accident, having trauma, or undergoing surgery. Sometimes people have blood disorders that prevent them from making blood correctly and require blood transfusion, like sickle cell disease.
Dr. Shet says about 40% of the population is eligible to donate blood, but only about 3% do. The Pabst Theater Group is peeling back the curtain on booking some of today's biggest performers.
The day after comedian Nikki Glaser crushed her hosting gig at the Golden Globes, demand for tickets to her Milwaukee show skyrocketed. The Pabst Theater Group's COO, Matt Berenger.
We contacted her management and said, hey, this is taking on some new life here. And they said, oh, yeah, tell us about it, because it's happening now, not just in Milwaukee, but all around the country.
So the group added a second performance.
And that show sold out nearly immediately. And that's the time where we have to go, look, we've got to get some more access for the fans here and make sure that as many people are able to see her show as possible.
The next move was switching the shows to a bigger venue, from the Riverside to Miller High Life Theater. Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:04.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different, but one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Advent knows.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Hey, business owners, are you looking to sell your business? I'm sure you have plenty of questions. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me for our latest Annex Wealth Management webinar. I'll be joined by Brandon Lehman and Brian Lamborn from Annex Wealth Management as we answer your questions. Who should you consult? And of course, when is the best time for you to sell your business? Sign up for this free webinar on Wednesday, January 29th. Text WEB to 855-616-1620 to sign up for the free webinar. Only here on WTMJ.
Imagine all the things you dream of under one roof. You're thinking of eBay. Fashion, collectibles, car parts. It's all there. Go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Super Bowl 59 will feature the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs are looking for a third consecutive Super Bowl win. That game will be played February 9th in New Orleans. The Bucs tour of the Western Conference continues tonight in Utah against the Jazz. Doc Rivers' Bucs are 25-18 on the season.
We're 2-8, and we're losing anywhere, But I really do think in this stretch, overall, we've played really good on the road.
Meanwhile, the Jazz have just 10 wins. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 7:30 on WTMJ. Taking a look at the roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Mostly clear on the roads this evening. We've got one crash on Highway 175 south, about 3/4 of a mile beyond 94 east. That looks like it is pulled over to the right shoulder. Taking a look at the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy and windy, a chance for light snow, a low of 25. Tuesday, partly cloudy, windy, and mild, a high of 42. Wednesday, mostly cloudy and breezy, slight chance for snow showers, a high of 35. On Thursday, mostly cloudy and mild, a chance for a wintry mix later, a high of 36. Friday, cloudy with rain mix possible, a high of 37. Right now in Madison, it's 35 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 34. In Waukesha, it's 34. And in Milwaukee, it's 37 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 7:07.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. A deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Maxx.
Thank you so much for joining me. We are together for another half hour before Milwaukee Bucks basketball coverage starts. But no way was I going to have a slow Monday. Nope. We had a whole lot of fun rolling out the red carpet so far for Hollywood historian and author David Fantle, who's doing a lunch and learn at Three Pillars on Monday full of good stories. And then we just welcomed in the new Milwaukee Film Executive Director. Her name is Susan Kearns, and she starts the job next week. And now we have another special guest celebrating Museum Days. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Introduce yourself to everyone.
So my name is Melissa Ralstad. I am the Executive Director of the Wisconsin Museum of Quilts and Fiber Arts, which is right up in Cedarburg.
And right behind you is a beautiful quilt. If you text the word WATCH, WATCH, text WATCH to 855-616-1620. That's the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. Text the word WATCH. It's a black background. What are the fabrics and a big swirl? Because sometimes when you say quilt, people think squares and patchwork, and this is artistic and beautiful.
Yep, this is it's one of the quilts that is from the current exhibit. So we have a gallery split into two different spaces. So one of them features the work of a New York-based artist named Paula Nadelstern. So she's the quilter that created the quilt that's behind me. What she's known for doing are kaleidoscope quilts. So think about like looking in a kaleidoscope, that viewfinder, and then imagining it blown up to multiple sizes. That's what you're seeing
That's
here.
a great description because it's got the spiral and then the different moving patterns that you can see merging together.
Yeah, and this one's a small one, so it was easier to bring in. The other ones are full, like bed-size quilts. That you'll see.
What is the biggest quilt you have on display at the museum?
On display right now, I'm not really sure. It like I said, most of them are like normal, like double or queen size quilts. That's pretty standard. We have some that are smaller, some that are bigger. I mean, but the largest quilt we have isn't actually on display right now. But these are all on loan to us. So,
well, I'm so glad that even though we call it Visit Milwaukee's Museum Days, it's almost 30 museums all around our area. And I love that in Cedarburg that the Wisconsin Museum of Quilts and Fiber Arts is included.
Yes.
It's a long name. I always want to get it right. That's why I was like...
It is a long name, but worth the visit. So long name, but worth the visit.
And you have a unique space.
We do. We are located on an intact German farmstead from the 1850s. So our gallery is the old barn. We completely restored it. So that's what you're actually seeing. That's where you're seeing these amazing works of art displayed. So it's not the typical, white walls or kind of just quiet space. It's an old barn. Yes, it is Wisconsin. So yes, it still has heat. It has air conditioning, which I know is important this time of year. We get that question a lot. Yes, it is fully heated. You're not going to freeze.
Good. Because it is running through February 2nd. So through Sunday, Milwaukee Museum Days is deals and discounts everywhere, and admission just $5 through Sunday.
Which is discounted admission. No coupons or anything like that necessary. Just come right into the museum and tell us that you're here for Museums Week, and our volunteers will take care of you and give you $5.
Visit Milwaukee.
Charge you $5.
Now
Charge you $5.
That's
We're not
the
doing
way
that
to get
kind of
people
deal.
in.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that kind of deal. Sorry.
Visit Milwaukee.org Museum Days. They have an interactive map that shows you where there's free admission, $5 admission, $10 admission, $15 admission. It's just a wonderful resource and an interactive map. And Cedarburg is such a creative community. For anyone who hasn't been there yet, this is a wonderful reason to get to the Cedarburg community and stroll around inside. What are some of the other exhibitions that are at the museum right now?
So in addition to Paula's quilts, we also have an artist named Shinny Chin. Shinny is from Kansas, but she does the most amazing, like almost woven tapestries of quilts. I kind of liken them to impressionistic paintings. So when you get up close, you can't really tell what it is, but if you take that step back, you can completely see what that image is and what she's trying to convey in that. It's really cool to see that all done just with thread.
And what a process. How does she imagine that and achieve that with thread and fabric?
It's really just how she's stitching and how she's weaving all of those individual stitches to create that design. Although, if you are interested in learning more, she will actually be at the museum to do a tour of her exhibition and a class teaching you how to do that. That'll be in March.
That's wonderful to not only be able to enjoy the art, but to meet the artist herself. Because we were just talking with Milwaukee Film, and that's one of the most fun aspects of the Milwaukee Film Festival is after you see this work of art on the big screen, you do the Q&A with the director and the talent. And so very similarly, you can observe and enjoy up close and afar the quilts at the museum and then meet the creator. And especially with a process that has to be absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, to have her, it's really her process. So to be talking to her about it, giving her a chance to actually explain what she's doing, how she's doing it, how she's been motivated, and kind of where she came up with this. Yeah, it is something really special. We try to do that as much as possible with exhibits. If the artists are still with us, these are all contemporary pieces, so fortunately the artists are. But we had Paula in December as well. So, we really try hard to bring in as many of the artists. The exhibit that we have coming up once this one closes is a mid-career retrospective of Milwaukee native Heidi Parks. So Heidi will actually be doing a whole series of classes and workshops and things with us.
And Heidi was just recently the Artist in Residence. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So people will have seen her artwork there in the hotel.
Yep. We're super excited to be partnering with her. Like I said, she'll be doing a whole bunch of classes and workshops. And then the gallery will feature obviously work from her. It is her mid-career retrospective, but we'll also have a few pieces from artists that influenced her. And then we have a micro gallery. We converted one of our stairwells into a public art space. And so during Heidi's exhibition, it'll actually be students of Heidi's. So it'll be their work that's on display. So thinking about where she came from, her work, and how she's influencing those next generations.
And inspiring.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We're really looking forward to having her. And she's, such a wonderful, lovely person too. So, and again, Milwaukee.
Well, and you have to be, I would think, some level of social to be in the fishbowl at the Pfister lobby.
Yes.
Creating and welcoming people to come in and ask you about your creations and your inspirations. And that would sort of come with the territory. You couldn't necessarily be a complete introvert and be an artist in residence in a hotel lobby.
No. And fortunately, like I said, Heidi is really engaging. She does a lot of handwork. So I also brought one other little piece in.
Hold that up.
So this is one of the classes she's going to be teaching, but it gives you an idea. She does a lot of hand stitching. That is what she's known for, is all of her handwork, her hand stitching. And so this is called a framed quilt, but she teaches it. It's a one-day class. You don't need experience. It looks like you do, but you really don't need experience to do it.
It's kind of black and white and almost like a picture frame and a white canvas with all sorts of little black stitching on it.
And then just all the little stitches and all the little stitching. But again, a way to do something, have something that's a little bit more fun, something that's a little bit out of the box, but something that just about anybody can do.
I love this. Museum Days, and we're going to have more with the executive director of the Wisconsin Museum of Quilts and Fiber Arts, Melissa Ralstad. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to find out more about what the museum has going on during Museum Days and beyond. Stay with us here on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Throughout history, some people have been born into greatness because of their name or family. Others gained greatness because of their actions. On Wisconsin's Morning News, we celebrate everyday heroes, the John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they woke up one morning they'd be saving a life. Everyday Heroes, Thursday at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
When your pipes burst, water heater's leaking, drains backing up, or whatever your plumbing problem is, the reliable plumbers at Quality are on hand 24/7 to fix your plumbing problem with fully stocked vehicles and lightning fast response times. This is Anthony Zanevsky. Call Quality first and get the signature service you deserve to fix your plumbing problem ASAP.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. I don't have to tell you that a lot of dust and other junk collects in your ductwork. And it doesn't just sit there. It's blowing around in your home. And that jeopardizes your home health. The commercial industrial duct cleaning system we use at Quality darn near sucked the shirt right off our tech the first time he used it. Believe me, not everybody has this powerful of a system. It's unlike any other. At Quality, you get the best duct cleaning, period. So call Quality first for your duct cleaning needs.
For the signature service you deserve.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, EasyCater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at EasyCater.com.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx.
What's on Tap, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. And Visit Milwaukee has a wonderful annual event called Museum Days, and it is going on right now through Sunday, where you get deals and discounts at nearly 30 museums. And one of those museums is the Wisconsin Museum of Quilts and Fiber Arts. And we are lucky enough to have the executive director in the studio with us, Melissa Ralstad. And Melissa, the quilt that you brought that is hanging up behind you, if you didn't know it was a quilt, you would think it was a painting.
Yeah, they really do look like paintings. It's one of the things that I love about our exhibits, we are so lucky to work with just incredible artists. And people tend to think of like quilts as maybe the things that they grew up sleeping under. Those are quilts, absolutely.
Yes.
But we also have these amazing works of art, and they really are. These are trained artists that are doing this as their professions. So Paula, the artist, Paula Nadelstern, the artist who created the quilt that I brought with me that's behind me, has been doing this for over 40 years. So, I mean, she's an incredibly talented and incredibly gifted artist. Her medium is just fiber. So,
happens to be cloth, and it's wonderful. It's if you haven't texted watch or you're not watching right now, you can later on the WTMJ YouTube live stream. Text watch 855-616-1620 to the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line, and you can see this quilt behind Melissa. It's black and it's got a big swirl, and you described earlier that it looks like a kaleidoscope, and that's just the perfect description with the colors and the motion that you really see looking at it.
And as much as I'd love to say that we came up with that, that is what she calls her quilts.
Well, she's got to describe it, but that's the challenge of an artist to explain what you do. And so she's got to tell somebody, here's why you want to show my beautiful quilts.
Well, and there have also been so many other artists then that are inspired by her and have taken and seen her things and go, ooh, can I try something like that? So it's kind of fun to see somebody who's made that sort of impact throughout the, broader quilting field or fiber arts field. But it goes broader than that too. I mean, you get people then that are like, okay, can I mimic this in something else too, or even like mixed media or something? So
inspiring more creativity.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else is exciting you in the quilting and fiber arts world?
Oh, that's a tough question. So
you've got the event that's coming up?
Speaking personally, the thing that I'm most excited about is the museum does have our winter quilt show, which takes place on Saturday, February 8th. It's not at the museum. We don't have enough space to actually hold it at the museum. So we are doing it at Washington County Fair Park, which is right in West Bend. Super easy to get on and off, but it features all sorts of fiber art vendors. There are all sorts of quilt displays. I mentioned Heidi Parks before. Heidi will actually be doing a talk that day, and so will a bunch of other local artists. All of the talks that day are free with admission. So it's $10 to get in, and then you have access to everything that day. It runs from 9 to 4.
And what's the name of that event?
The Winter Quilt Show.
The Winter Quilt Show. You remember that.
Yep. And the website for that's winterquiltshow.com. So very easy to find the information. Try to keep it simple for everybody.
But in the meantime, come to see you at the barn.
Yes, please come see us.
Because I think that's part of the experience is to walk into history, into the barn itself, which houses the museum.
It absolutely is. We always say the barn itself is our biggest piece of art. And it's fiber. I mean, wood is a fiber, so it still fits. It still fits the idea. It still fits the theme. We interpret fiber pretty broadly, so wood absolutely works with that. But it's a gorgeous space, high vaulted ceilings, so it's also the perfect space to exhibit artwork, particularly textiles. There's a warmth that the barn has that the textiles just pick up on, and it truly is kind of a really magical place to actually be able to see textiles.
Experience it for yourself for just $5 during museum
days.
It's
only $5
through Sunday. Museum Days. Visit Milwaukee.org Museum Days, or what's the website for the Wisconsin Museum of Quilts and Fiber Arts?
wiquiltmuseum.com.
wiquiltmuseum.com. See, so simple.
Again, try to keep it simple.
Melissa Rahlstad, thank you so very much for coming and bringing art, and enjoy the rest of your museum days. And I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. And next, Billy Idol tickets could be yours for free if you want to rock out with him this summer. That's next on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Football is like rock and roll. It's just and basketball is like jazz. You're kind of.
Brent sends it left of the lane to Portis. Lillard sends it to the corner.
It's in the pocket. It's like
driving inside, hands it to Jackson. Catch and shoot. Torian Prince rips the cords.
The Bucks head out to Utah to take on the Jazz. Our Bucks radio game day coverage starts tonight at 7:30. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
So how would I describe our people? I'd say the people we set out to hire have to be smart, hardworking, and honest. Honesty being paramount of the three. Because honesty breeds integrity. And when you have integrity, you won't let yourself do anything less than your best. And that's who we're looking for. Character counts here, and integrity matters. That's why it's easy for us to offer the industry's best lifetime workmanship warranty with every roof we sell. A rock-solid warranty like ours guarantees our reputation. Veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true, but offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases, insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people, but the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenex should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx is back on WTMJ.
The sounds of Billy Idol. Sounds good on your radio speakers. Sounds even better in person. You are listening to What's on Tap. Sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world-class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. And maybe you have friends who want to come in town and see Billy Idol with you because he is performing August 31st at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater. And that is the Sunday of Labor Day weekend. So maybe you do have friends who are coming in town and you all want to go to the rock show. Because guess what? You know who's opening for Billy Idol that night? Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. That is going to be a great show. And I'm entertained because the tour is titled, It's a Nice Day to Tour Again. Billy Idol, Sunday, August 31st at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater. Tickets are on sale right now, but because you know me, you can call in and win a free pair of tickets. The Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line is 855-616-1620. I won't ask a Billy Idol trivia question on this occasion. I might, though, because I'm going to give away Billy Idol tickets every night this week through Thursday on What's on Tap. But right now, caller number 8, the 8th month of the year of August. Caller 8 on the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. Caller 8 will set you up with a free pair of tickets to see Billy Idol, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Sunday, August 31st at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater. Thank you so much for spending time with me. If you missed any of the great conversations with my in-studio guest tonight, you can always catch up on the podcast, or if you heard it and you're like, oh my God, I have a friend who would love that, you can share the podcast too. Thanks for listening to What's on Tap.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Just like the Milwaukee Bucks, Coakley Brothers has developed into a world-class national player. We perform office work for clients in the U.S. and Canada who need help in managing their national locations. We project manage and execute dozens of jobs at once, communicating progress in real time through photos and digital dashboards. I'm Peggy Coakley. You know us for excellence in Milwaukee and Wisconsin. Now you can count on us anywhere in the Americas to handle your time-sensitive projects.
Welcome to Milwaukee Bucks basketball.
This now hands out to Trent, and Trent fires up another three and sticks it again. It's a season high.
This is the BMO Bucks Radio Network.
Comes the catch and shoot three from the corner, and Lillard splashes it through.
Tonight, the Bucks take on the Utah Jazz at Delta Center in Salt Lake City.
Lots up top. Giannis slams it home. Oh, a rim-rocking alley-oop. The rim's going to feel that one tomorrow.
Now, here's the radio host of the Bucks, Justin Garcia.
It is game number 2 of this 4-game West Coast road trip for the Bucks. Tonight, they find themselves in Utah to take on the Jazz. Good evening, Bucks fans. I'm Justin Garcia, joined by Gabe Neitzel as we get you set for tonight's showdown. And Gabe, a disappointing start to the road trip for the Bucks against the Los Angeles Clippers. It was a very competitive